Private Limited. He began his career with Allied Refractories products as a sales engineer back in 2008, and through sheer excellent performance, he quickly rose through higher ranks. After serving as regional manager South India, he now brilliantly heads the entire sales operation for Allied Refractories across India. With over 17 years of experience in the industry, he has been instrumental in driving strategic growth, strengthening key customer relationships, and significantly expanding the company's footprint. Prior to Allied, he gained valuable foundational experience as a project trainee at CUMI, Carborundum Universal Super Refractories, and as production manager at SVS Ceramics. He is technically grounded, holding an MTech in ceramic technology from the prestigious Alagappa Chittiar College of Technology, Anna University Guindy, and a BTech in chemical engineering from Adiyaman Engineering College, Hosur. His expertise is recognized globally. He has represented Allied in numerous international engagements, traveling to countries including the USA, Germany, Africa, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and China for projects, customer interactions, and crucial business development activities. His dedication and excellence have not gone unnoticed, earning him top honors such as the Best Channel Furnace Salesman of the Year for Allied Head Office. From the Allied Head Office in Columbus, Ohio, and the Best Service Person of the Year for his commitment. So, I welcome Mr. Rajmoham Mathiazhagan, the young, energetic, dynamic. I really enjoy the AI, 95% of the words I've spelled right now is from AI. Okay, it's... thank you all. Now the platform is yours, Mr. Rajmoham.
Thank you, Mr. Veera, and thanks to Dinesh actually for creating my profile actually in such a good way. Good afternoon, everyone, and sorry for the technical things, whatever happened actually. So anyway, the screen is like this. We'll run through it. So today I'm going to talk about something refractories actually. It's a constant talk actually which I used to have on many forums. It's nothing different actually than what I used to talk earlier. So I'd like to keep the session more interactive. I think many Foundry peoples are here, not for the Foundry veterans actually. There are a few questions which will be asked actually, and people who are participating will be getting some gifts. So please do participate. So moving forward, so this is the flow. I'll be covering on basics, refractory chemistry, silica ramming mass, grain sizes, castable on basics, and castable dry out. So before I move forward, actually, can anyone answer about what is refractories? Here, everyone is a Foundry person, and people should know what is refractories. Any definition, anyone can define what is refractories? Yeah, actually. People were not smart enough actually. People are still in the mood of having lunch, I think actually, okay? Sir, actually. So no worries. So, okay, I gave the answer earlier itself. Okay, refractories are heat resistant material that can withstand very high temperature without deforming its strength or shape or any chemical stability above 600 degrees Celsius. So if a product is able to withstand actually, that is whichever is removed from the earth, if that product can stay above 600 degrees Celsius without any change in the shape, so that is called as refractories. So it has been split into three categories, which is acidic, neutral, and basic. And on the shapes, it is called as shaped refractories, which typically we call it as bricks, precast shape. And then when it comes to unshaped, we talk about monolithics. So that's what we normally engage actually with the furnaces, ramming. We call ramming masses, castables, or cement. So that is called as unshaped or monolithic refractories. Then when it comes to application, it is termed into dry, wet, and plastics. So when we move forward, actually, this is the way. So typically, your refractory has been split up based upon your slacks chemistry. We used to choose the refractory. So there's a formula. In my earlier presentations, I would have showed this formula. There's a VH formula. So typically, if you consider the pH value between 1 to 6, that is called as acidic. 6 to 8 is neutral, and 8 to 14 is basic. So acidic refractories, silica refractories, chrome based comes under acidic, and alumina comes under neutral. And when it goes to basic, actually, it goes into magnesia, and that CaO is again a cement. It's not typically a refractory, it's a kind of cement actually which is added to the castables for binding properties. Now the next question is, what is the melting, which has the highest melting point in this? Sir, which has the highest melting point in this? Anyone please be loud, because I need to score you, okay? Then only I can give you gifts actually, okay? So people can stand up or raise a hand and put the answer. Good, magnesium oxide. And then what about silica? Silica melting point. No. What is it? Sir, when he said melting point of magnesia is more, then I talked about silica. No, he's right. Magnesia is highest. Silica is low. Almost near to that. Who said that 1750? Okay, but still people were struggling. Thanks, Venkat, actually, for putting every answers also here. Venkat, thanks for the presentation, okay? So, silica is 1720 range, and as I said, magnesia, sir said actually magnesia is 1800, might be breaks in here. Shankar, sir. So, so when we go into general silica, silica is a kind of mineral actually which we get, so such as quartz, quartzite and silica. So silica is used in several purposes, for glass, for ceramics and refractories, in foundries and ferro industries, and for abrasive on ornaments. So quartz, so typically this is what actually we use in the ramming mass. Quartz, it's colorless, it's transparent, and the hardness is almost like 7 moles per scale actually, and the specific gravity is 2.65. It has good piezoelectric effect. So crystalline form of silica is what we typically use, is hexagonal in structure. So typically it's acidic, as I said earlier. So that's the reason actually we use for grey iron, SG iron and copper alloys, where the slag tendency is also almost into acidic nature. Silica does not have a natural bond. So we need to add an external bonding agent for sintering it. So what is the bond we add to the silica? The bond added to the silica. I think no answer is here anymore. Okay. No sodium. Boric acid. There's one more version. Boron. So, okay. Answer in question sorry. There's a lot of questions actually. Okay. So, at what temperature boron oxide melts? At what temperature boron oxide melts to form that glassy phase? Until all the questions have been answered, actually this will not come to you, okay? Sorry. Who said that? No, before that there was something. Yeah, 450. Might be you need to give to him, I think, actually. He answers everything. So boron melts at 450. And then, which is best? Boron oxide or boric acid? Boric acid or boron oxide? Typically, people use boric acid and boron oxide. Okay, when you take into better lining life or performance actually, and when you talk about less coil maintenance, which is the best one? Boric acid or boron oxide? So it's boron oxide. And can you tell me the answer for it? Like why it is best actually? What is the reason behind? Moisture. Yeah. Okay. So it's because of the moisture. Because in boron oxide it's the H3BO3, and boron oxide actually does not have that chemical moisture inbuilt. So when you take to the temperature, Yeah, when you take to the higher temperatures, this moisture used to come out actually, and it used to settle on your coils as in the acidic form, and and it will damage the coils. So, and one more question I have, okay, whether boron oxide is hygroscopic or non-hygroscopic. காத்துல இருந்து மாய்ஸ்சர் எடுத்துக்குமா, காத்துல இருந்து மாய்ஸ்சர் எடுக்காதா? Boron oxide. Depending upon the furnace size, and after the liquid metal is formed, again we request you to hold the furnace actually for 1 hour actually with the full liquid metal till the top. So this is grain sizes. We have different products. So typically in the market you would have seen a normal grain size between 4.5 to 6 mm particle size, and then we introduced a large grain silica which is like 12.5 mm and above on an average. We recently started with the medium grain size, which is almost like 10 mm particle size, and the reason behind developing this medium grain size particle silica is to have like what happens is in large grain silica we had a challenge because anything lining above 2.5 inches we will be engaging with large grain silica, and for patching, when the patching is only like 1 mm 1 inch or something like that, we can't use large grain silica. So there was a confusion in the customer end that they have to stock both the products. So to come out from that issue, we started with medium grain size silica, and it was having both the properties, that is it has a good abrasion resistant, wear resistant, and packing density was much better, which we received from the large grain silica, and it was good for patching also, which we received from the regular grain silica. So to match both the things, we developed this medium grain silica, and it became a higher selling product actually at this point of time. And moreover, when people now thinking about lot of liquid sintering practices, Breaks India is one customer actually where they have been widely engaged with the liquid sintering in the holding furnaces, and they were quite successful. I can see many people like Nelcast and everyone who are trying to come into this, and whenever you are going for liquid sintering, large grain silica and medium grain silica will be contributing a lot actually for better lining performance. So when we get into castables, we have different types of castables actually with different additives for ladles and ton dishes and auto post systems. Okay, now moving forward, actually, when you go for selection of ladle refractories, what are the criteria? What do you think about actually? What you need actually in a ladle refractory? Okay. Abrasion, wear resistance. Okay. Okay. Almost all the points are right actually. So these are the product. We talk about corrosion resistant and slag resistant. One is mechanical strength. One is erosion abrasion resistant, and then is thermal shock resistance. Because you try to use this ladle occasionally, and there's always a thermal cycling effect which is going on. So thermal shock resistance is again a key criteria. And then we talk about power savings. So that means actually your thermal conductivity factors has to be looked into it. And then we think about volume stability. This again contributes to your expansion and cooling properties where the cracking should be less. So we talk about the volume stability of what kind of volume stability this product has. And then what you said actually is high refractoriness. So all these products have been looked into as a property when we select actually a ladle refractory. Okay. Now there's one more question towards here. There are few cases where we try to strengthen the lining life much better and to reduce the cracks. Okay, there's a kind of addition we do inside a castable. So could you spell out actually what is the addition we do inside a castable? We do addition to the castable to make it more strengthened, to avoid cracks, or not to avoid cracks actually, to hold the cracks kind of stuff. So no. It's not towards cement, what I'm talking about. So it's something actually as a third party thing we add. Either one நம்ம castable கூட போட்டான்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், it holds the refractory in a much better way, and even if the crack is there, the crack is not going to propagate further. No, no, not binders. I am talking about, okay, I'll tell you, I am talking about the needles. Have you seen needles being added to the castables? If you see the top blocks in your coreless furnaces, you can see the top blocks with always with needles. Okay, so needles have been added. Why these needles have been added? Because everyone would have experienced actually having the needles on the top. Yeah, reinforcement. And what it does? Yeah. It holds. In what sense actually it is holding? It is not a cement actually which is holding. But it holds. What it holds? It gives a strength. But what it does? Actually, if you have any cracks, okay, these needles will not allow the cracks to further propagate. Okay, whenever the cracks hits with the needle, it tries to hold it. So the crack is not being propagated further. Okay, that's the main purpose of adding needles actually. Okay, so what is your guess, like how much needles we can add inside a castable? Okay, whether if I'm going to add more needles, that means actually whether it will be getting more strength. Why? If I'm going to, okay, let us consider actually I'm going to add 20% needles. Whether this is going to help or whether I'm going to add 50% needles. Melting is one thing because most of the things have been clubbed actually along with the refractory. So the melting tendency is not going to happen much. Okay, there might be a property of oxidation. The needles on the surface can get oxidized. Okay, and that's the reason actually whenever we choose needles, you know what is the type of needles we use? What material it is? When we talk about needles, it's again metal. What type of metal it is? Steel. What grade it is?
Stainless steel.
Grade.
314, 316.
Typically we use 304 and 310. Okay. So whenever we have more oxidation atmosphere, we try to engage with 310. Wherever we have less oxidation tendency, we go with 304. Okay, because it's also the price matters. Okay, when we go with 310, the price also increases. So we try to select the needles actually according to the requirement. And the mainly when we talk about needles, actually we talk about 304 like oxidation atmosphere or reduction atmosphere kind of stuff. But if you talk on that way, we have refractories which is ramming mass with needles also. When we engage with aluminum furnaces, we have products which has needles in the ramming mass. So we have products like DV58FR where the needles has been added in a certain ratio, so that actually, because in aluminum furnaces you have lot of drawing effects and lot of thermal shock. So to manage that, we try to add needles inside the product also. I'll be going with the next slides. Okay. So there are different type of castables. Okay. So conventional, low cement, ultra low cement, and no cement. How much actually percentage of cement is there actually in a conventional castable? Percentage of cement in low cement. So okay. So when we go with the conventional cement, actually it's more than 2.5% of COO. And low cement actually is 1 to 2.5, ultra low is 0.2 to 1, and no cement is less than 0.2. In what way this helps? Because this was a question which, when I talked about what we are adding to the castable, many people talked about binders and something. What is binders? Binders are cements. Okay. Now, that's a advantage and disadvantage of each and everything. Okay. So when we are going to add more cement, that is almost a conventional castable, you are going to have more of cement along with the refractory. When you heat it up, the cement actually will loosen the properties over a period of time, and you will be having a void structure which you can't visualize it. Okay, but that aqueous formation or whatever the liquid formation will be vanishing away on a faster note. So what happens is, so conventional castable life will always be less compared to no cement castables. But that's a challenge actually with no cement castables because the green strength is way low. So you have to be very careful and precise whenever you're going to pull the form out until you introduce the heat into the system. If the heating is being done, then it gets the green strength, the strength. But the green strength is very low. With conventional cement, the green strength is higher compared to any other cement which is low in 2, 3 and 4. So that makes the difference. Why people are moving from conventional to low cement, ultra low cement, or no cement, actually it's because of that. To have high performance and to have less non-wetting properties, those things. So typically when we go for any castable, you need to have a proper mixer. This is he made a presentation in such a way, conventional cement he's talking about, but in any castable you need to have a proper mixer. And typically now when we are talking about benchmarking and all the stuff, actually today morning we were talking about, there's one area which always I talk to my team saying that our foundry industry are very much particular with the scrap, very much particular about the energy, very much particular about the sand and everything. Refractory comes under the lower scale. There are very less attention being given to the refractories, but this is getting changed. And again, here I like to put the point saying that people are moving from sand, CO2 sand, whatever we were using in the past, towards castables. So that means you need to have proper refractory mixes also. Okay, you can't do a low cement castable or no cement castable just by hand mixing. You need to have a proper mixer. Okay, to get the proper performance of any product of whatever castable you are talking about, you have to need a proper mixer, proper water percentage has to be maintained actually so that to get the proper properties of the material. So when I talk about no cement castable, actually this is one thing which we started to produce in the market, like push in the market as colloidal silica based product. As I said earlier, it is not a content of CaO or any other binding in the system. It is, we have a binding agent which is called as colloidal silica. So we add it along with the aggregate and we try to mix it up and we try to put it. The only advantage is, since actually it does not have any cement and water is not being added into the system, the heat up can be very rapid. So your downtime of ladles is very much minimized. You'll be getting a higher hot strength actually compared to any cement based castables, as I said earlier, because cement weakens the structure also. And then but the only disadvantage, the green strength is way less. So we need to be careful in the initial stages. As soon as actually you line the ladle, rather than moving it to any other place, try to heat up the ladle on the same spot. So transportation has to be minimized as much as possible. And also then we have fast bonded castables and fast bonded ramming masses. And also we have dry ramming mass, which is completely non-wet. It's a complete dry. You have to do it as like a coreless furnace lining. It does not take so much also. If you have a vibrating table, you can set the form, put the refractory, vibrate it, it settles. Then you light it with a wooden torch or wood planks or torch it within 15-20 minutes or maximum 1 hour, your ladle will be ready. So this is actually with the advantage actually with the dry ramming mass. So this is what actually I was talking about earlier with respect to the needle additions. So even if you see that the strength retained with the 2% needle addition versus 0% needle addition, you can see the strength retained is almost like 21, am I right, Venkat? 21%, because it's not, okay. And with the 2% needles, you can see the strength retained actually, but when you go above 6% or 7%, the strength retained is not that great, okay. It's almost equivalent to the needle addition of 6 to 7%. So that's the reason we typically try to stop actually the needle addition around 6 to 7%, because there's no value to it, okay. The only thing is you're going to increase the cost of lining. There are very few products actually which we do develop with 20% needles also, but those are for special applications which is required. So this is just a graph actually which talked about how the sintering cycle can be done. So if you see this quick fire, which is on red color actually, and nanotech, which is like colloidal silica, and we have a quick fire. So those are products actually which is like fast bonded and colloidal silica bonded, where the dry out cycle can be much faster compared to the conventional castables. So this is what I have. So if you have any questions, I think you have to give yourselves answer. Shankar sir, So the castable comes with the cement. The castable comes with the cement, but additionally we are talking about adding needles depending upon your atmospheric working conditions and challenges what you have during the operation. It's already there in the system. It's not like that actually we are going to completely eliminate the binder. Sir?
Whether we reduce the binder percentage with needles?
No.
Whether we reduce the binder percentage with needles or otherwise it will be kept more? Or
No.
otherwise?
Sir, actually as I said earlier, the castables actually we select the castable based upon your operation. Okay? For an example, I will be most probably I will not be choosing any conventional castable for any of the operations in foundry industry.
Okay.
So I will be either going with low cement or ultra low cement castables.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you have any challenges of more thermal cycling of ladles,
Okay.
so during the time actually if you see that there's more cracks to your system,
Okay.
so then we add to needles to hold that cracks without propagating further, so that actually your performance can be enhanced.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think you need to Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. That was a fun and interactive session. Now Thank you. Now I call upon Mr. M. Murugan. Thank you, gentlemen.